Hey, it's your boy, HHWH, coming to you from UK. But I want to do a little update of what's going on with me in my holistic health and general journey, really. Yeah, just excitement. I love doing lives when I'm excited about something. I want to share some cool shit with you, or just what's going on. As a medicine man, as a medicine person, just like yourselves in this realm, life is pretty cool, pretty exciting. Yeah, so today I'm off to Gibraltar. It's a UK colony in Spain because I'm helping and running ceremony for Rife at Lisa's retreat, 7-day retreat in Tarifa in Spain, where sound healing, that looks like a gong behind there, yoga, all these kind of things are going to happen. And I actually met Lisa, who asked me to do this retreat with her in Spain, in Mexico, in Puerto Vallarta, and there's no such thing as coincidences in this realm. Through another lady, Leah, who I knew on Facebook for a long time, I went to visit. I was introduced to Lisa Marie Robinson, who's very famous actually in Marbella for doing yoga and exercise, and her son Anton is awesome. You may have seen some of my skateboarding videos. It's because of Lisa's son Anton that I'm into skateboarding a lot now, and I'm going to take it seriously. Skateboarding, surfing, and Muay Thai. Muay Thai will have to wait though. But yeah, I'm very honoured to have met Lisa and Anton, and I'm super excited to do a presentation. And for the 10, 12 people that are coming to the 7-day retreat in Tarifa, Spain, in the best, it's expensive, but the best retreat place in Tarifa, Spain, overlooking the ocean in Africa and Morocco. And it's fully booked for the entire year. That's how amazing this retreat is. So I can't wait. Actually, I've been doing, for me, more research into rife. So to update you guys a bit, I am on one of the most powerful rice for that price ever. And I love my rife, but what I'm geeking out and super excited about is, yo Jim, funny, Jim's jumping on here because I appreciated hanging out with Macabre Crusade boys and everyone there for presentation on urine last December. I haven't actually got much experience talking to groups of people, whether it be 10 or 20 or 30 or 40. But I love it because it brings out my mastery, my flow, my lion. It's why I was sent here. There's many different reasons why we're all sent here, but something tickles my soul when I'm talking to a group of people about things I know. And with the rife, the research I've been doing the last few days, and it's got a giant 800-page book all about rife. That guy was fucking phenomenal. He dedicated his entire life to figuring out the shit. I already know the rife's powerful, my rife is powerful, but I geek out even more at explaining to you guys why the rife is powerful. And I'm going to be honest, I've connected some dots into why the rife is delivering such powerful results to people that no one has connected. Like, I read the logic in the books, and then I just go a little bit stage further with what I know, and then I connect the dots. And another good thing is I explain it not like I can explain it like a 4-year-old, because I'm simple and I started with basic science and all these things, and that's important. You don't want to lose people by explaining it like too complicated processes and going to the spirituality side and the occult side of everything if you can't explain it like a 4-year-old, what the fuck are you doing, man? You've got to learn to explain it. So I'm looking forward to that presentation I'm going to deliver on rife, which will be recorded, and I'll try and post it. I'll probably post it on my Facebook and YouTube so you guys can watch for free. But yeah, I know I'm going to sing because, like, I'm so excited to talk about things that I'm learning with rife. What I want to share with you as well is rife machines. This one might be the one that I will stay lifelong on, support and affiliate with, but it might be others. I don't know yet. I just know mine's really powerful. It's a lifelong mastery and focus. I'm really going to tune in the next coming years with rife because like I said, I already know it's super powerful because it's frequency healing, and food is frequency and fasting is frequency. But if I'm going to be really real and grounding is frequency, I've got something to share about rife that it's basically grounding on steroids, and I'll explain when I do the presentation to people why. It is grounding, but it's on steroids. It's doing more than just grounding. It's fucking amazing. I love it. But yeah, over the next coming years, I'm going to dedicate my life to a few things that I've been sent here for. Root supplements, yes, love them. Very powerful. Urine, always. Carry on writing books on that. But rife is the new one that I know that I need to write a book on, and I need to talk more about, and I want to geek out on it and hang out with fellow rifers and people that also know little bits of information about rife that I never tuned in on. Because as much as I'm going to learn, there's always going to be other people that can help me connect further dots in the amazingness of a powerful technology called frequency healing, where you don't even need to touch it. You have the rife here, and within the vicinity of a few meters, the closer you are, the better, the more medicine healing you get from it. So rife and frequency, we know frequency healing's the future, but the rife is something I'm really going to dedicate my life to, because it's that powerful and it deserves it. It's not the only thing, I'll see where I go in life, but yeah, the foundations of what I'm mastering and want to master is becoming very clear to me. It was just urine woke me up. Urine woke me up, and it opened the doors to a load of things, and it's very powerful medicine. But all the urine was really was the start of an incredible journey about me learning things. Remember, my brand name is Holistic Health of Harry. You won't see me do Facebook posts just on fruits all the time, and be considered an expert on just fruits. And because if I'm being honest, I find it a bit boring for me, for my learning, for my stimulation. If someone on Facebook is just talking about how amazing fruits are, don't get me wrong, they have a pride and place and they help a lot of people that struggle to eat 100% fruits. Great, follow them. But anyone that follows me and walks my journey or meets me will know that I'm naturally Holistic Health of Harry. I go all over the place, so I will not be tied down to one thing, never, and I will always talk about all the things. I mean, I don't even talk much on physical health. It's my mastery, but one of them, but I don't even talk about that much on my Facebook because I'm holistic, and health is far more than just physical health. And actually, there's a ceiling cap that maybe some of you resonate with. You can take physical health to a very extreme high level, but you can still be mentally, emotionally, spiritually toxic and triggered by silly things and not put in the work. The physical health is awesome, but I'm just going to say the real work ain't physical health. It can only take you so far. You've got like 7 bodies if you believe yoga. I do. There's loads of bodies. There's a soul. And if it was that easy, life would be amazing. Imagine if you could just perfect physical health and be pure and that's it. No triggers, no trauma, all emotionally cool, living like a Buddha enlightened. It never works like that. Look at the story, if you believe, of the Buddha. He went extreme and fasted like for ages and ages, mastered his physical health output to the maximum. But he found that fasting wasn't enough. What I'm saying to you, there's far more in the world than just physical health obsession. Physical health is important because we're living in toxic times where we can all gain little percentages of purity, clarity, personality upgrades. We can. The masses are sick, so it'll always have its place. But that's not where I want to focus my entire life. I want to move on towards being a more emotionally balanced, healthy individual that works through my triggers, because the triggers are endless. You get through one, works through my traumas of rejection. I have a very strong rejection trauma due to school. I just can't deny these things, and physical health will help, but the real work is the mental. It's how you see yourself, and it involves plant medicine lifelong for me too. Like the mushrooms and all the things I want to experience. The San Pedros, the ibogas, the ayahuascas, or the darkness retreats. I want to experience it all because I'm here to maximize my vessel and share every single healing modality. My mission is to share every single healing modality that's helped me in my journey towards becoming the best version of myself. And that's a lifelong mission, and it never stops. And I thank God it never stops, because it keeps me stimulated in this world. And I appreciate it. That's why I've been sent. So you take little nuggets from me and you dish away with the things you don't relate to. For example, I hope you don't get so triggered by my experiments maybe with ketamine, which I still stand by and think's a good tool every now and again to use. Mind-blowing. I think it's more powerful than cannabis. They're very similar in the way they relax the body. But yeah, I've just seen over my times on Facebook that I'll lose some of you guys, I'll lose people. A few days ago on my YouTube from ketamine, months ago, when I was talking about the benefits of my real world experience, someone that must have followed me from my days when I was only obsessing over free medicine and urine, which was a great phase of my life, and urine will always be my heart. There was people that he just commented and said, "Why are you trying out ketamine? You've got urine, why aren't you happy with urine?" By that response, I already know the frequency of that individual, and that is someone I could help but I do not want to be around that individual because they don't get it, and truthfully they're not walking the same path of me as maximizing their vessel to the fullest. Are we really that simple? We're asking questions like, you've just got urine is enough. Jeez, man, then you must be perfect and have no trauma and walk around happy 24/7. Or maybe that person was. Maybe that person was what we call the spiritual bypassers, the love and light brigade. They think there's no negative in the world. And the way they talk, love and light, as 5D brigade, I've met some of these individuals. I won't name people, but I know people like this. They're just not real. There's a disconnect because the trauma was so bad that they can't see the trauma for what it is, and they're called in denial because it was too painful. My trauma was painful. Your guys' trauma was painful. But to be sincere in your growth journey up, you have to acknowledge the pain of the trauma, or you end up like these delusional characters that we all know, called the 5D Love Brigade, Love and Light, that talk spirituality. When you try and have a real conversation with them about their friends, their family, what they've been through, they ignore it and give you some kind of bullshit from a textbook, and they think that your intuition can't pick up. They're chatting shit because they're really deflecting their entire personality from who they are. I will actually name call one in the one that's kind of big shot that needs shutting down. It's called Devlin Maggi. Devlin Maggi, the flat earth dude, he's all over the place. Anyone who guys that follows him, can't you tell in his voice in the first few seconds he's built an entire fake voice. Everything about him is fake because he can't handle the truth about what he's been through. He's in complete denial, and he's in heavy narcissism. Everyone has narcissism on a scale. We're all damaged egoed here, but he's heavy narcissism. Check him out. Type in The Crucible, Devin Maggi. That debate was funny. Everything about that guy is wrong with his voice. That's what happens when you have too much trauma and you're too in self-denial, and you'll end up hating real. And I can't resonate with that because I'm trying to be real. I'm a broken man, broken by God, chosen by God, chosen by me. But I'm definitely on the climb up. I'm definitely sincere. No insult can ever land to me calling me out and saying, as some people have said, that I'm soulless. I've been called soulless recently, and an NPC, and wow, that doesn't even land. You know why? Because I live in my body. I know what I've been through. I receive so many synchronicities, same as you. We shouldn't really be triggered by other people telling us that we're not on the path on the hero's journey. When what's that about synchronicities endlessly? Mine are like not so much numbers, but I meet the right people at the right time, or I make the right friends and go deep with right people, or the wrong people that I connect with do things to me to detach from them at the right time. All is ending up perfect for us at this moment in time. That's how I see it. It's also why I don't really vibe with maybe the end times are coming, but I just wonder why we're receiving so many synchronicities. If the end times are here and there's no hope for us in humanity, why is it that all these synchronicities still to abound to all of us? It's a bit nuts, isn't it? What's the point of the spirits aiding us if it's all going to end? You know? A bit crazy. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited. Like, even to have a little audience or one person that listens to me about things and goes on my machine and experiences the rife. Man, it's just mad. Absolutely mad. I'm going to endlessly, as long as Facebook's here, keep sharing my journey. I'm going to be taking business a little bit more seriously. I'm going to be doing a urine therapy video course very soon, putting that out there. I'm not sure if I'm pioneering it, but I did pioneer the Aged Urine book, which was very smart. Thank you, God. And yeah, a urine therapy video course coming soon. I'm not sure it's going to be like the best, but it's going to be information on aged urine and urine therapy for video. So that's another angle. Yeah, I'm very left-brained. Like I said before, I'm newly into spirituality. I'm newly coming into every day deepening my faith in God and spirituality. But in some roundabout way, I'm very coming from a place of real groundedness. Like, this spiritual stuff is still new to me. But one of my masteries is left brain. I've handled that really well. I know how to do things. I know how to stop being perfect and in perfectionism all the time. A lot of you guys struggle with perfectionism. Even me, but not as much as you guys. Because if you didn't struggle with perfectionism, where's your books? Where's your videos? Where's your Facebook Lives all the time? Some of you guys try and get the courage to do Facebook Lives and you even delete them after. It's just perfectionism. Perfectionism is corruptionism. Perfectionism, to me, is the demon work. I understand all is perfect here and you'll get around it at your own time, but perfectionism stops a lot of things. Check out the reviews for my aged urine book. If you want an example of how not to be perfect, have a look at the reviews that go, that book is full of spelling mistakes. Full of it. More than any other book per page, I think, ever written. I'm exaggerating slightly, but the comments are always like, loads of spelling mistakes, but you know what? The content's great. I'm a great example and role model for stop being perfectionism. I have it in me too, but a lot of you guys stop putting great work out there because of perfectionism and because of fear too. Fear, for example, comes into play with things like that aren't accepted by society, like urine. You know, my family doesn't approve of it. My sister hates me for it. I haven't spoken in 10 years or something. So I've taken the hits, same as everyone else, for speaking my truth. But urine woke me up. I had to speak a truth for something that was really powerful, right? How could I not? That's what God was telling me. My soul, my higher soul was telling me. When I found out about urine, I didn't blast off on Facebook Live straight away. I was silently watching and building up courage. But I did after a year or two. Just watched other people's Facebooks, added the right people, added the breatharianisms, the fruitarianisms, the urinarians, saw what they were posting and thought, why didn't I do that? I've got loads of free information and excitement to share to people. Basically, here I'm saying I copied people. Nothing I do is really original. I just copy people. But it works. And I was brave enough to speak about it. It's pretty cool. And now it is normal for me to talk to everyone and anyone about urine. And I still have instances where I tell taxi drivers. I'll tell you a funny story. So recently I went to Leeds in the UK to see my friend. And whilst I was getting a taxi to her house, there's a lot of Muslims in Leeds. In England there's a lot of Muslims, but in Leeds there's a consecrated amount of them. So I was having a lovely conversation with the taxi driver about, well, I was letting him do a lot of talking. Actually, the 20-minute journey, he was doing a lot of talking about racism. I was really interested because in the north of the UK, there's still a lot of racism, whites versus Asians, like physical fights. Gangs of white boys were beaten up. He was telling me a story where he as a taxi driver was beaten or challenged by white boys and he gave it back to them and then a group of 20 attacked him. 20 white boys have all this because he was Asian and dared to challenge them. But yeah, long story short, his son, who was quite a good boxer, got revenge on one of the boys because they were all locals and they all know each other. Got the boss to turn the cameras off at work, found the guy and beat the shit out of him. Now, I don't encourage that behaviour. Actually, I'm pretty sad to hear it, that an eye for an eye never makes the world blind, right? But it's funny, I listened to that and I was like learning, because I'm always learning from people like interested in racism in the UK. I've not experienced it and I'm dark or not coloured. But anyway, it was a 20-minute conversation and right towards the end, I thought I'd give him, as a devout Muslim, or just as a person that I connected with him, I thought I was going to give him a little seed. And I said to him, just before he's go, he came out, got my suitcase, and I said to him, by the way, I really want to tell you something that's really powerful medicine. If you ever have trouble and cancer, please look into urine therapy. And he looked at me like fluoridated stare and completely triggered and said, okay, bye. I kid you not. I said, please look into urine therapy to save your life if you ever have cancer. And he looked at me completely triggered and weird. And, okay, bye. I was like, what the fuck? I wish I had a camera to record his face in that moment. He just ran away completely triggered. Now, I think the reason why is because of a lot of Muslims. The Quran says the urine is actually dirty. A lot of Muslims are against urine therapy. I remember having conversations with devout Muslims before. They told me in the Quran it says never do urine therapy because it's dirty. I think he'd been very into the Quran. Completely triggered. And that's okay. But it's a funny reference that the world isn't always ready. But it didn't stop me and it will never stop me telling my truth. It was weird. It made my tummy feel funny, his reaction. I mean, I really learnt a lot from him in the conversation. And when I offered him the golden nugget for his life so he can take away, that I never know if he really received that and it helped his life when he was desperate, I would never know in my heart the goodness that I've given him until I die. Because when you die, is the time when you realize, or in my opinion, when you die, in that life review, when you look at yourself, because I don't think God judges you. You are God, by the way. I think you judge you. I believe what Dolores Cannon says. You judge you. You judge you, but you see, you as God judge you, and you see everything good and bad you've ever done in your wrong in a life review in an instant. And, I mean, all of us have no idea the kind of impact we have on the good and the bad we'll ever do, but we're going to learn when we die. And that makes this life very fucking sacred. This makes this life very fucking important. This makes every single action and word you speak, and little act of kindness, or a little act of a deep lie you tell other people or to yourself, super important when you die. There is a judgment, I believe, but it comes on you, by you. And if you've done a load of good, you will know that. And that's the kind of shit with that taxi man, that I put some good, but I didn't get it received back. Or if you really took on the message, all the people take on the message, and I'll never follow someone's life, but you say it to a random stranger, you offer the act of kindness in a moment when they were really needing that kindness that changed their life trajectory forever. That stuff's real, and that happens, and you'll know about it when you die. But conversely, all the bad stuff too. Every single little bad act, which we've all committed here, like Jesus says, yet he who's not done his sin cast the first stone. Come on, all of us have done bad in this world that we know about consciously, but I think the bad's coming too. The unconscious bad stuff, the little things we've done and said to bad, or not done for people that were our friends even, or the little things we said to strangers, the little moments that we didn't think would have had that kind of negative impact, would have sent them maybe on a downward spiral, just as the opposite. We'll feel the pain of them in that moment and what we've done to their lives. And then I hope to get opportunities to come back here and do better. That's the whole point. I do believe in the reincarnation. I mean, we all know, right? Past lives are all real. We must be given opportunities in life to amend our mistakes in this one life. And the only way you can is to feel all the good and all the bad you've ever done in this life. And I've done a lot of bad. Like, a lot of us here have done a lot of bad when we were addicted to stuff. Who here hasn't been addicted to something bad? I was addicted to alcohol. I've done a lot of bad things. I was addicted to gambling. You know, I've done a lot of bad stuff. But from that point, you can only put out a lot of good and hope that you've done okay. So, yeah. This is just a live on a live. I appreciate you guys listening. I just gone on a place and shared how I feel in life and the things I believe in. You don't have to believe everything I do. I am. But everything I believe helps me become a better person in this life. And that includes from holistic healthcare and going all over the place and not focusing on one thing, to real work, which is, real work to me is just hanging around. Do you know what? Like triggerings are the real work. Being triggered by people, by strangers. It's mad we get triggered by strangers, but I notice I do. I get triggered by people, and of course triggered by our friends, our partners, our exes. The triggers, what are they? They're the shadows that we deny, that we haven't worked on. Or the traumas, like the rejection trauma that I've got. The fear of not being liked and loved that makes me want to do a live so that people can be like, yay, I support you, Harry, and I'm not rejected from the tribe. It runs deep, man. Like all this stuff. But it's interesting. We all have it. So, yeah, cheers, G-Man. Hey, see you soon, bro. See you very soon now. 1 month's time. Can't wait to hang out with you. That's a great example of upgrading from friends that were no good for my journey. I wouldn't say friends that were toxic, but friends that were no good for me to upgrade into people that I vibe with on a very real level. Great example there. And me and G-Man are going to do a lot of actually cool things together, including the urine therapy course, but much more. We're going to hang out more and really help each other grow. So I look forward to that, hanging out with you, man, and learning and the release technique. Amazing. Yeah, oh my God. It's funny, when I do my end of year reviews, I've been doing them since 2018. I can go and search and find them. But every end of December, every year, I do an end of year review of highlights of my life, because my life is busy. I like to share with you guys what I'm up to, whether it's TV, books, meeting, and I tag and shout out all my friends that I'm thankful for. It's actually quite funny. I just want to share this quick, that I've gone back over 2018, 19, 20 and looked at the tags of people that I've said, thank you so much for changing my life. And quite a lot of them, or some of them, or at least 50% of them, are no longer in my life. And it's an example of like, I don't want to be negative, but you think when you make a friend in that moment that it's going to be lifelong. And I've made that mistake so many times. But as you grow or outgrow people, the people you think you love and are grateful for in that moment just kind of go away. And then you get new friends, for example, here, that sometimes like really know when someone's going to be lifelong. Sometimes you want to believe, and that's what I think I've been doing with my life. I've wanted to believe. Due to the fear of rejection and due to people-pleasing traumas that I have, I've always wanted to try and establish connections with people and say, yes, he's my friend for life. No, sometimes knowing that it wouldn't even be that. But as I've grown, I'm getting better at really spotting the friends that I know I'm going to be lifelong friends with. And less the toxic friends. And that's something that I'm maturing in. Because, by the way, I think I'm an old soul in a young man's body. I'm 36, but I don't know. I think I've been around, like a lot of you guys, I think I've been around the block a lot. I'm not new here. And I love actually hanging out with, I love the wisdom of old people. I said this to my friend recently, that if there was a button tomorrow or today to switch to becoming 80, I'd press it. I would skip the middle years and go to 80. Because I love the way old people, nearly all old people, if you believe in NPCs, that's cool, but I look at all old people and I see a calmness, a chillness, appreciation for life, far more than middle-aged and people my age. And I think it's just because of a natural law that when you're young, like a baby or a child, you're excited about life, you haven't lived long, everything's new. But also a natural law is when it's your time to die from this incarnation, you become more appreciative. So the beginning of a journey is always the most exciting, and the end of a journey is always the most exciting, because the beginning is like, ooh, new stimulation, fun. Not used to this. The middle is the slog. I'm in the middle years. You're 30, 40, 50, that's the hard graft. You're in the middle years. But when it comes to 60, 70, 80, I don't care if you call them NPCs or not. Everybody knows at 60, 70, 80, they're going to die. And then when you know you're going to die soon, or could die any day at 60, 70, 80, guess what happens? You start glowing. Because when you know something's coming to an end, you get excited. Examples. When you go and meet your friends, your close friends. When you meet your friend and you smile and you don't even know, there's no self-consciousness. You smile, happy, hug. Maybe there's moments of self-consciousness and lulls in the conversation if you're hanging out with them for 6-8 hours with your friends. Like, what do I say next? Oh, there's silence. You know what I mean? It's the middle part. The middle part's what I'm driving home here. But the end? What happens with your friends at the end? You get excited. You're like, wait, yeah, go leave my friend. I loved having this conversation. Do you know what I mean? It's the beginning and end of life that's amazing. It's the middle that's struggle. If you can master the middle, have a lot of fun, you've mastered life. And that's why I press the button and go straight to the end. Because what I'm saying is, I kind of struggle, just as you guys do, with the middle part of your life, like your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. I'd say those years, they're a struggle. You're lying if you say they're not a struggle. You're fucking lying. And it's because you think the end's a long way away. But when you can't deny the end's a long way because you're 80 and a walking stick, and you've got loads of wrinkles, the glow of life comes. The beginning and the end. Never forget that. If you master the middle, you'll be a true champion. That's why I can't wait for the end. And also at the end, I get to bask in the glory of all the hard work and left brain shit and people I've helped, or even if it's one person transform their life. At the end, I get to bask in all the hard work that I'm putting in now. Because I'm all over the place. I love my life, but I move around. I'm a traveller, man. I'm going to live in community soon in Koh Phangan. Surrounded by fruitarians, vegans. I don't even care if they're carnivores, man. I don't give a shit. Don't give a shit about diet judgments either. I'm vegan, but I don't care about diet. I'm out. I'm out of diet arguments because it's all division and stupidity. I'm out of calling me as non-ascenders and the stupid talk of people not ascending based on their diet. It's all ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to go, by the way. Bye.
All right?
Yep.